Hi, I'm Tim Kyle with Grieve Chrysler here in Van Wert. I'm going to give you a short video on how to check your tires and the reasons why you do not want to overinflate or underinflate your tires. Each vehicle from the factory comes with a sticker on the driver's door panel, and when you open the door and the door's in, the sticker tells you the PSI that your tires should hold. This car calls for 33 PSI. If you overinflate your tires, that could be hazardous, a safety concern, because your tires will not ride on the whole tire on the road. Only the centers will touch the road, so it's less traction, should cause you to get in a wreck. Also creates uneven tire wear. Some people think it gets you better fuel mileage, but it is not good for the effects it could have. If you underinflate your tires, it calls for more sway into the tires and turns. So either way, it could affect your. It could definitely affect your handling. So to put air in your tires, you take off your tire cap, put it somewhere where you won't lose it. If you've noticed your tires leaking lately, inside you have a valve. Now there's a tool to tighten that valve. It would appear in this place. Put your gauge on. Oh, this one's been difficult. There we go. As you can see, this tire is at 32 PSI. During winter time, I like to run my tires about 1 PSI over, no more. That way it gives the tire room to fluctuate with the cold weather, since air molecules will shrink. So since this calls for 33, I'm going to go to 34. That way if it's a cold day, I ain't got to worry about it turning on a tire light. And as you drive, your tire flexes, which creates friction, which in return creates heat, which builds air pressure in your tires. So if your tire calls for 33, you start up the car in the morning and it's at 32, don't stress it too much, because as you drive, that tire is going to heat with the flexing, and it's going to come up to 10 PSI. While you are airing up your tires, it's always good to check your depth of your tire. There's wear bars in the depths or the treads to let you know when they're getting close to needing to be changed. Anytime you see, and you want to check for flat spots in your tires, cord showing, uneven wear. If you have uneven wear on your tire, you want to get to Grieve Chrysler or another dealership to get your car realigned. I always recommend digital gauge because you know exactly what you're getting in there. And always be careful with these digital gauges, as there's different settings. Turn on the light there so you can see it a little bit easier. But you got, which will show different numbers. So you want to make sure you always have it set on PSI. Okay. Caps are always important. Make sure you always have those too. That'll keep water from building up in there and potentially making your valve inside freeze, where you can't put air in your tires. It's always good to kind of look through your rims to your brake pads, make sure they're good. If you start hearing a slight squeak, that means you're probably getting close to your warning tabs. Most brake pads come with those. Now we'll get this vehicle down and give you a quick lesson on checking your oil. Okay, so back to the tires. Before I told you that there's a sticker on the inside of your door jamb when you open the driver's door. This will tell you the ratings for what your tires should hold, your spare tire, front and rear, and it will also tell you the actual tire size for your vehicle. You want to usually make sure that you get the right size for your tire for your vehicle. Called you to throw off speed, affect transmission issues, whatnot, and so forth. If you're always planning on going on a long trip, or actually maybe once a week, it's always good to do a check your oil. Very simple. And if you need to add oil, you'll have a cap where you put your oil in, and that cap will always say what type of oil your engine carries. Always go with what it calls for. There's different weights thicker, less thick. Some vehicles, it make it harder for it to turn over in colder weather. So checking your oil, you're always going to pull the dipstick out, you're going to wipe it off once, get it nice and clean. And remember, you want to do this with your vehicle cold when it's been setting. That way everything settles. If you do it after you just get done driving, it may appear that it's a little bit low, but you got to wait for everything to drain back down. Because this dipstick goes down to your oil pan at the very bottom of your engine block. So check that. You can see that the oil looks good. It's got a nice color to it. If it's dark or black, you need to get that changed right away. You want to make sure it's not too thin. If it's running off of the dipstick, that's also bad. If you got a white milky look to it, that would mean that you have water in your system, maybe possibly a head gasket or something similar to that. So I'll wipe this off real quick, but you can kind of see through it. Maybe it's hard on the camera, but right here you got these like little crosses. That's your safe zone. Anything below that tells you that you're low. Anything over that tells you that you're over full. Most people think, well, overfull is okay. I have extra. Well, that's not the case. If you have extra, I always check my serpentine belt for weathering. They like to get small cracks in them. This one here is looking pretty good. If you see some small cracks, usually it's nothing to worry about right away, but you start seeing those larger cracks with the wear, get that replaced, because you don't want to be going down the road and that belt break. Then you're going to lose power to your alternator, which in return is going to charge your car. So she might run for a little bit, but she ain't going to run right. Then you're going to be dead and stuck on the side of the road. Always check your coolant. That keeps your vehicle cool so don't overheat. This one here, just below the add mark. That ain't going to hurt nothing, but you always want to try at least keep it at the add mark or full if possible, of course. Washer fluid, this is where you'll put your washer fluid in at. You can tell by the little symbol on top. And if you don't know these symbols, your owner's manual of your vehicle should have a diagram in there telling you what's what. Power steering fluid. Some Chrysler products, you can also use ATF plus 4 auto transmission fluid for your power steering as well. Pretty much the same thing. Air filter. Now, this is not going to be in the same location on every vehicle, but this here, you'll have these little clips. You pop that up, and don't be afraid. As you can see, this air filter is brand new. What you're looking for is when you pull that out, you want to be able to hold it up to the light and make sure that you can see through it. If you can see through it, you're good. Always kind of tap it on your bumper, maybe your leg. Make sure that you knock anything that's sucked out, leaves, whatnot. Believe me, sometimes they are a pain in the butt to get back in there. On the newer vehicles, be careful with this kind of stuff. You got all these little sensors coming off everywhere. So when you're in here, be cautious. If you have something go out in your vehicle, whether it's your cigarette lighter or whatnot, usually go here for a quick reference. Your owner's manual will have what each of these locations mean. And